struck, we really knew nothing about the virus at all. And what we actually did at the beginning was basically to follow what the Chinese did. After all, that's where the virus started. And the Chinese had very, very stringent lockdowns. And it was said here in the UK, oh, we can't do what the Chinese are doing because they have the sort of thought police and all that kind of stuff. But in a sense, we followed their examples. They built these giant hospitals in conference centres, and we did the same. We never actually used them, but we followed the Chinese model.
Yeah.
And basically,
I'm just going to cut in here. Sorry, I'm just going to cut in because, to be honest with you, I think there's a lot of our viewers right now who are very, very angry. Okay, and they're very angry that a group of unelected scientists were essentially able to, in my opinion, hijack government policy when their figures were, as far as I can tell, knowingly inaccurate. Certainly by the fourth or fifth time they got it wrong, and they completely disregarded any other impact their decisions might have when it came to the economy, public health down the road, children's education. I'm sorry, but they've got to be held to account for this, surely.
Well, they will be in the public inquiries. But remember, scientists who look at viruses or epidemiologists are not experts and don't claim to be experts on the economy. And so basically the people who make the decisions, are the politicians. Scientists are on top, they shouldn't be on top. That goes way, way back to the Second World War. People like
but
US
why did they
presidents.
scaremonger them? This is the thing, OK? It's one thing saying scientists shouldn't be on top, and I agree with you. Ultimately, some of the blame, if not a considerable amount of the blame, does have to lie with the politicians who decided to follow the science. But then when you've got the likes of Chris Whitty pumping out figures, you've got him standing full square behind headlines like "Don't Kill Granny," you've got poster campaigns of people hooked up to ventilators, their figures are wrong. Chris Whitty never came on television and said, all right, guys, I might be wrong about this. He never came on television and apologised for the rampantly inaccurate predictions that led to the situation that we've got now. So actually, I think he quite enjoyed being on top, for want of a better phrase.
Well, lots of grannies did die. I mean, one of the biggest scandals about the whole way that COVID was handled is we didn't do what Matt Hancock said and put a ring of steel around care homes. We didn't do that at all. And basically, lots of people, there was a 20% mortality in care homes of people. Okay, they wouldn't have survived for many years longer, but they were killed by the virus. And, they weren't people who jumped out of an airplane and had tested positive. Yes, the figures are inaccurate. Yes, there were things that basically we could have done differently. But on the other hand, it was the scientists who were predicting these things. Modelling, I've always had a bit of scepticism about. It tends to look as on the pessimistic side. And of course, if things had got even worse, well, they would have been blamed for being too optimistic. So scientists have a very difficult job.
I'm sorry. Things could not have gone worse. Things could not have gone worse. We've got record levels of a backlog for our NHS. The amount of avoidable or excess deaths are through the roof. We've got children presenting themselves at primary schools who can't walk and talk. We've got a massive economic crisis looming, for goodness sake. Things could not have gone worse. I'm sorry, but they couldn't have done. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave it there.